Well, the Flint water crisis has opened up a national discussion over lead in the U.S. water supply. This investigation coming out of USA Today, and they looked at systems in all 50 states. You won't believe what they found. Quote, excessive levels of lead contamination. The newspaper said that this data, and they were looking at information, data collected from the EPA that they have on hand, that it tested 600 water systems, and it's showing taps that had lead parts topping 40 parts per billion, double the EPA's, quote, action level limit. So way too much lead in our water. Flint opened up this national discussion, and I'm not sure we want to know what they're finding.
It makes you wonder why they weren't looking for this in the first place. If they know that there's sort of legacy systems in place, legacy infrastructure, and they have to be on the look and testing to make sure that it's not getting through, why hasn't this been done until now?
Why aren't we pressuring lawmakers to look at America's crumbling infrastructure? That's an excellent question. We have some of the poorest kept infrastructure in the free world. I mean, that's arguably the case, but at this point in time, it looks like they're looking at it too little too late, because we're poisoning people, and even small doses of lead, major health risks involved in that, especially for pregnant women and young children. Really quickly, lead can damage the brain, it can reduce the IQ, it can damage the kidneys, lead to high blood pressure, and name it.
The IQ issues are permanent. This is like damage that cannot be undone. And the reason it was so blatant in Flint is because they switched their input source, and people noticed a change, and so it became obvious, and that's why they looked into it, because it was dirty, it tasted different, it smelled different. Then they tested it, and they also found these lead problems, and they could see it popping up in the population.
My question is, so if the EPA has an enforcement division, and we know that this is happening, we've known, I mean, this study, they looked at information over a span of 4 years. So this is nothing new. The EPA, I mean, they had to have known this was going on.
Yeah, and there are candidates who want to eliminate the EPA altogether as being a nuisance that's driving up the cost of doing business in the United States. So, you know, there's a need for an agency such as the EPA to go around and test these things to protect the citizens, but it's not even doing that because of political pressure.
I agree, and it's troubling. I almost wish that we didn't have the information if they're not going to do anything about it. You know, the EPA, they're saying that most water systems in the country, looking at all 50 states, the USA Today study just looked at 2,000. They couldn't possibly look at them all, but just finding troubling amounts of lead everywhere, every state, double the action level limit that the EPA set forth. Now it's up to that division to enforce removing this lead.